firing of Steve Nash after what Barkley viewed as unfair criticism. Take a listen.
I was very disappointed at some of the guys on television today talking about white privilege. Very disappointed. They're like, well, this doesn't happen to black guys. And I'm like, well, it happened to Doc Rivers. It happened to Jason Kidd. It happened to Derek Fisher. So I was really disappointed. I just think when you have a responsibility, especially when you have to talk about something serious like race, you can't be full of crap. You got to be honest and fair. So listen, like I say, Steve Nash is a great player and a good dude, but I was so disappointed on these guys. I said, dude, black guys have done this before.
All right, Shannon, after listening to this, do you agree with Charles?
Skip, it doesn't happen often, but I do agree with Charles in this situation. Skip, and I've did some research on this. Skip, did you know 70 to 80% of the jobs that get filled are never listed, advertised publicly?
Jobs anywhere?
Anywhere.
Like in the world?
In the world.
Okay. I did not know that.
75% of those jobs are filled by how, Skip? Networking. I know Skip. Skip knows somebody. Jenny say, hey, they're hiring over at Fox. You ought to put an interview in. So guess what happened? Steve Nash, Sean Marks, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You see how that works, Skip?
I mean, Sean Marks played with Steve Nash
in Phoenix.
And Steve Nash sort of mentored
Kevin Durant for a couple of years in Golden State.
Yep.
Mike D'Antoni, like myself, hell, I didn't know Steve Nash wanted to be a coach. But
I didn't either.
Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, it was his complexion that helped him get that job. Well, are you going to hold Kevin Durant and Kyrie culpable? Because they signed off on it. They could have said, no, we want Ty Lue. No, we want Sam Cassell. No, we want Mark Jackson. And what would Sean Marks have done, Skip? He'd have hired Ty Lue, he'd have hired Sam Cassell, or he would have hired Mark Jackson. I just believe in this situation, and Charles laid it out right. Derek Fisher had no coaching experience and got a job. Isaiah Thomas had no coaching experience and got a job. Now, I will say this. Now, for the most part, if you get fired, you normally have to take an assistant job, work your way back up to become a head coach.
Jason Kidd.
Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni get fired, Skip, what'd he do? Go get a head coaching job. He get fired again, what'd he do, Skip? Go get another head coaching job. And that's normally what Mike Woodson. He was a head coach. What he got to do? Working with Doc. So now I think he might be going back to, actually he back at the Knicks with Tibbs. So for me, Skip, yeah, and I agree with you. We got to be careful, because we don't want to dilute what that is. And sometimes when we throw it out there, and I know everybody's disappointed because Steve Nash, you're like, damn, I didn't even know he wanted to be a coach. He wanted to be a coach, and next thing you know, he got a premier job with 2 premier players. So I'm going to agree with Chuck on this one, although we don't agree philosophically. We're far apart on a lot of different things.
I got it.
But on this one, Skip, I'm going to agree with Charles.
Okay, so Doc Rivers got a head coaching job with no coaching experience.
No.
Jason Kidd, same. Derek Fisher,
Same.
Okay, just for the
Isaiah
record.
Thomas, same.
Okay, got it. I defer to you on all these types of issues, so I appreciate what you're saying. All I know, my 2 cents from a distance is, obviously, you have to be careful in these situations that you don't dilute the message of what you, when you have an issue with something that really counts and really matters, you don't want to dilute your message by taking a stand on something that's not quite on point or worth it. Right?
Correct.
So I don't know what transpired to set off Charles. I did not hear the commentary, maybe you did, of others. I know it was mentioned that my friend Stephen A. Smith was one of them.
Yes.
I did not hear exactly what Stephen A. said about this, but I know him very well. And I have the greatest respect for him when it comes to his stances on racial injustice. And if, in fact, he had an issue with this, I know it came from a strong, good place. So I'm not taking any issue with Stephen A. for a fact over this. But in this case, I just know, what was the old expression? It's almost like an old school expression about playing the race card. You know and I know that the race card can be played right now in this country 1,000 different ways, and it works. It matters, it counts. But but obviously you have to be on firm footing when you play it, or you will dilute it to where white people will say the next time, well, you said it about that.
You said about this,
you say it about everything?
Right, correct.
Well, say it about white cops and black people. You got it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in this case, in the end, my issue was, I thought Ty Lue was made for this job. I don't care what color Ty Lue is. I just know he's made for this job. He is overqualified for this job. But to your point, I know who runs the show there. Those two young men do.
Yes.
And if they said Steve Nash, they're going to hire Steve Nash.
Because they didn't even have to... Skip, when you get guys of that magnitude and you don't have to recruit them, they call you up and say, hey, I'm signing with you. Kevin Durant calls me up and say, I'm signing. No visit, Skip, no visit, no talking to anybody, no nothing. I'm signing with you.
He said, well, Kyrie said to go there. I'm going to go there.
So they have they carry a lot of weight. Now, it's being also reported that Ty Lue is close to signing with the Sixers. So we'll see.
Okay, good. Good for the Sixers.
That's very good, Skip. But I agree. Now, Jock Vaughn, he got demoted. I thought he did a good job.
I did too.
I wouldn't have been surprised had he got the job.
I would not
because
have
they started playing better after I forget the guy that he ended up getting fired and Jock Vaughn took over for him. And so I thought, but hey, they says, look, we want you to stay on. We're gonna make you the highest paid assistant. Okay, hopefully he gets an opportunity to eventually be a head coach. But I've given up. I'm not giving up. I'm still, I get that Mark Jackson has been whiteballed for some of his stances on certain issues that maybe some people took offense to.
I would agree. And let's just say on some religious issues.
Yes. And some people took issues of that, Skip. But I think this had more to do with Sean Marks being familiar with Steve Nash.